Hello and welcome to day 3 of the 12th birthday February release product introductions. Today we are introducing mid-century modern everyday sentiments. Thank you for joining me for another video, another introduction. So this is the second mid-century modern stamp set that I'm releasing this time. And again, you might recognise the font. It's the same as yesterday in the birthday sentiments. I don't have the full set next to me like I did yesterday, but here you'll be able to see that the size difference is quite considerable. It's like it was yesterday when I explained. This is the same as mid-century modern Christmas size wise, and these are the same as mid-century modern wreath builder. And I didn't keep all of my samples. There's one sample that I forgot to get out, which is on the blog today. I've got the blog on the website up and running, and I have caught up with my blog posts there, so you will be able to hop on over there today and catch up and be able to look at the cards I have made in a bit more detail. Obviously I have been sharing them on Instagram as well, but it's always nice to read a little bit more detail anyway. So this is one that I've shared today on the blog. I've used the Just Because sentiment, and I've paired it with our layering Bauhaus block stencil. For this card I simply masked off this section, this lower section, and the stencil I used obviously was the layering Bauhaus blocks, and let me get it the right way. I used it up here, so I shimmied it up the top, and then I did this section, and obviously it just showed, and then I moved up to the top and moved it round. So it's always good fun to have a play about with different layouts with the stencil, and I enjoyed this, making this card and using a different colour combination as well. But yeah, I've just popped the sentiment on a strip of card and adhered it with foam adhesive just to give it a bit of dimension on that card. For this one, I wanted to show how these sentiments, even though they have sort of a mid-century modern quirkiness to them, and obviously pair lovely with the mid-century modern collection, I wanted to show that they can be used with other previously released much loved products like Beautiful Blooms 2 that I have used here, and I added the smile. After I stamped the solid bloom, I wished I'd actually placed this outline bloom before actually stamping my sentiment. I would have actually moved it over slightly. But yeah, we can always critique our cards. There's nothing wrong with it. It still looks fine, but I would have perhaps done it a different way, and I would do it a different way if I was making this card again. This one is a card that I made yesterday and shared yesterday in the video, but I just thought I'd get it out again because it features the sentiments here, and I have fussy cut them out. Obviously my cutting, it isn't perfect, but it just adds a little bit of detailing, I suppose, rather than just doing it on a straight strip of card. And there is another one that I shared for the birthday Linky party that is still ongoing. You've still got plenty of time to make a birthday card and link it up. And if you don't have any Uniko birthday products, you can download some of I've provided a link to some digital images that are free that you can use to make a card. So yeah, then this is a card that I haven't actually shared anywhere yet on the blog or anything. It was one that I was having a test play with, and I'm going to show you how I did this background, and then I am going to pair it with something a little bit different, make it a little bit different this second time round. So I actually used the geometric heart layer part of the ink and flip stencil, this one, to create this abstract background. And I cleaned it and I flipped it and then I inked it in the pink, and then I just added the celebrate sentiment and added a few dots out of my stash. So this was quite a quick card and easy to make. So I'll show you how I did this background first. I went ahead and I pre-cut a card base. Now I haven't really thought about what colours I'm going to use for this card, so I might use 3 and stick to my usual trio when I do a trio of colours. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it not quite at the top of my card. I'm just going to create an abstract background. So my usual go-to trio of colours for ink, if I can't think, that I know that sit well together and they blend nicely together, is Oceanside, Honeysuckle and Buttercup. So I'm going to start with Honeysuckle, and I'm just going to ink across my stencil. I'll just get my brush. No, I don't like that brush. Do you ever have that when you are ink blending, you have your favourite brushes? Even though they're all roughly the same, some feel nicer than others. Well, I do. So I'm just gonna ink this up. So I talked about this, using this as an abstract background when I did my ink and flip geometric heart video the other day, which you can catch up on. So I thought it'd be nice to pair with the sentiments. Sorry about the noise in the background. My husband left his phone on. So that is life. So I'm doing the colours quite dark today. The sun's been coming in and out today, but when it goes in a little bit, it still feels a bit gloomy. So we need some bright colour cheer, I think. So yeah, I was talking about using this stencil as an abstract background in my video the other day. So if you want to know more about this ink and flip stencil, go check that video out. It is worth a watch. So I'm just going to pop this inside here just to dry it off before I flip. Don't have to flip. I might even just use it the same. And I'm just overlapping some of the colours, some of the triangles, to create a bit of a sort of band across the top part of my card. And I'm going to go in with the Buttercup colour. And this should give a sort of orangey feel over the top where the colours sit on top of each other. Now, because I'm using sort of pigment inks rather than distress oxides, these sort of tend to sit on top of each other rather than blend together. So you will see a colour difference where they sit on top of each other, but they don't necessarily actually blend because of the type of ink, where if you use distress oxides they are creamier and they do sort of blend together nicer. But as I say, I love these three colours together. Obviously on my other card I only used two colours, which works, but I thought I fancy three, and I'm doing it on a slightly bigger card base this time as well. So again, I'm just going to clean this and then do my final colour. And I had a bit of a play about, a little bit of a test to see which of the sentiments worked with mid-century modern frames, and a couple of the sentiments work really nicely. So again, I'm just going to do this here, and I'm going to use Oceanside this time. And I should have a brush. So tomorrow is the final product introduction, and then release day is on Sunday. And I hope to have another video for you tomorrow. And I might, if I have time on Sunday, I might pop in live over on Facebook. Don't worry if you don't have Facebook, I will save the video and I will upload it onto YouTube afterwards, and I will share links to it on social media, so don't worry if you are not on Facebook. I'm not making any promises just yet because Sundays can be busier, and obviously it is a release day as well, so anyone who places a lovely order, I will be packing your orders on Sunday evening and Monday morning, and then it'll be a trip to the post office on Monday afternoon, hopefully. So there we have the abstract background. And honestly, you could really go wild with it and create a full background if you wanted to, but I was just creating sort of a band here. And so beforehand I was having a bit of a play about with mid-century modern frames, and I had a look to see which of the sentiments sort of fit inside. So the hello sentiment fits lovely inside the frame, and friend fits in nicely as well, and smile fits in as well. So you've got those, but obviously you could always do the main sentiment in the frame, and then you could have the other sentiment outside the frame. So there are lots of opportunities. And then one thing I forgot to mention or show, well, I did mention it earlier. So you've got the sentiments from the Wreath Builder set. So you've got the merry, the happy, and the wishes. And I'm sure there's other sort of combinations, but they're probably the main three that I would use alongside some of these sentiments. So yeah, it provides even more mix and match sentiment options. So you could use the happy and then the birthday outside. But for today, I'm going to stamp hello and smile. And then I'm going to cut out the frames and we'll decide which one looks the best on the card once we get to that stage. So I'm just going to put a bit of removable adhesive on here just so the card doesn't slip as I'm stamping my sentiment. And I'm going to use a block. My black ink is fairly juicy, so I should theoretically get a nice impression off the bat with this sentiment. So it's nice that these larger sentiments fit inside these frames, but I know the everyday sentiments fit nice. Some of them fit nice in there, they're just the right size as well, and I'm sure there's lots in your stamping arsenal that will fit lovely in these frames. So this framed set was released quite a while ago. I can't remember off the top of my head. I should have a list somewhere. I still haven't done that. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that there. So there is the third frame in this set here, which is this one here. Now the sentiments aren't going to, where have I put my, I keep losing everything today. So here you'll see that the sentiments aren't gonna fit inside that little sort of squashed oval, but you could fussy cut them out and layer them on top as well. That would still look awesome. So I might even, after I've done this video, is have a play with that and see how they look. So I've stamped them and I'm gonna cut them out, and then while I'm cutting them out, I will have a think as to what colour I will colour the edges of the frame. Don't have to colour them, but I think sometimes it's nice just to add a bit of colour, or even neutral colour, so as not to distract from the background. These are fairly easy to cut out, with them being straight edges. Obviously this one has the star point, but it's not too difficult to get round. I think it always helps to have a nice sharp pair of scissors when it comes to cutting. That helps a lot. And I've had these Stampin' Up ones for a long time, and I always reach for buying another pair once these get, if they get a bit blunt or accidentally get used cutting adhesive. I try to keep the guard on them so they don't get used or mixed up. But that doesn't always stop things, does it? Or someone else using your nice pair of scissors. So I've cut that one out. Now I quite like that one. And you could do it off to the side, or I quite like that one, but we'll decide when we'll have a look with this one. And obviously the card I didn't remember to find is a card using the sentiments, but I have paired it with a stamp that we're introducing tomorrow, a background stamp, and I paired it with mid-century modern florals. So you've got mid-century modern florals that will go lovely with these bold sentiments as well. I know a few of the brand ambassadors have used the mid-century modern florals today. They are being super creative and thinking of things that I hadn't thought of, or pairings that I hadn't thought of. Just absolutely fabulous. I get to see a couple of the projects that are on the blog for the link up, but all the others are a surprise to me, as they are for you, so it's always fun to see. So we've got that one, or we've got that option. I think I prefer the first option. So I'm going to go ahead and use some foam adhesive to stick this on. And then I think I might go for some grey tones to colour the frame, and possibly a yellow for the stars. I haven't got my little pot today. I've been lazy, and all these squares are ending up everywhere. Oh, it's getting tricky to get these off today, though I have got my nails. So I am gonna add this. So the sentiment is straight, but the frame will be a little bit sort of wonky. So then we've got some grey. I'm just going to use a light grey, and then we'll use a yellow for these stars. So I've got the yellow. We'll just colour in them. You could add a bit of sparkle to these using some glitter and a two-way glue pen, for example. If you wanted a little bit extra pizzazz, and I might just colour this bit yellow as well. And then I've got a grey pen. This is these are Stampin' Up markers. This is light smoky slate, and I'm just gonna simply do some flat colouring. Probably not my best. I am not a colourer. I can when I have the patience, but I don't always have the patience. I did many years ago do the Copic certification. Really enjoyed it, but I've never really stuck at it to become an expert as such. I know the basics, but as I say, I often don't have the patience to sit and colour, and tend to do a lot of flat colouring like this rather than add shading. You could go in and add some shading. I'm sure you don't need me to teach you. There are lots of people out there who have done Copic colouring videos. But as I say, these are alcohol markers. They come in 2 shades when you buy them, so you get a light and a dark, which is useful. So they use the same sort of concept. but I mainly got these ones just because they match some of the cardstock that I have, and I like the colours. So there we go. Now I'm thinking it possibly needs, it doesn't need, but I might just add a few enamel dots, and I have some cobblestone ones. I'm not sure, I think I used cobblestone yesterday, didn't I, in my video? Nice shade of grey. And these are good just for adding a little bit of accent here and there. And I'm just going to add a trio of them, just randomly selecting where I put them. If I don't stick them to myself. And that will finish today's card. So there we have my card with my abstract background and frame. I can use that one on another card later. And this is the sentiment set. So we've got birthday, friend, smile, thank you, just because, celebrate, and hello. These pair lovely. Yesterday I did a card, I paired a larger one with the scripty sentiment from Happy Days. But some of these, they would look nice with the sentiments contained in mid-century modern frames. So you've got happy birthday, celebrate, day, wishes, fathers, and best, but then there's the same font and sentiment style in mid-century modern baubles. So I'm sure over the next few days and weeks, as I continue to use this new release and incorporate the products in my crafting, you will see lots more options using these sentiments. Thank you for joining me again today, and I hope you've enjoyed the card and you're enjoying the introductions to this release so far. And as I say, I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. See you then. Bye.